over this weekend, I saw Blink Twice, starring Naomi Ackel, and some other legendary stars were in this too. And this movie is more of a psychological thriller than it is horror, but I like putting psychological thrillers underneath the banner of horror because crazy stuff happens in psychological thrillers. I mean, look at Psycho. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I really like this movie. This movie had a lot of mind bending, confusing, crazy things that was going on until you find out later on by the end of the film. You kind of see how it ends. And even though the ending itself may be of question, it still didn't take away how good this movie was for me. It's Naomi Ackel plays this girl named Frida who is a server at a very famous party where she has this crush on this guy named uh, uh, Slater, right? He's like some famous entrepreneur guy or whatever, and apparently he has issues, and and he's like coming out with saying that he got a lot of help from the psychologist or psychiatrist that helped him out get through it, and now he's starting a new life and he wants to help people and everything like that. He meets her in the party. She gets dressed up for it, right? At first, she was serving drinks and stuff like that, but then her and her friend changed into these gowns, and they tried to get close enough to him, and she, they meet him, and he ends up inviting them over to his private island with a group of other people, right? For a week of fun, relaxation, sunbathing, partying at night, cool activities during the day, things of that nature. And as Frida and Slater, you see how they start. It's clear Slater has an interest in her, so they start getting a little bit more closer. They talk a lot, they bond, whatnot. Um, and then you see all these other people. You see Haley Joel Armstead. His name is Tom in the movie, and he plays. If you know him, he was the kid from The Sixth Sense back in 1999 or 98. Was it 98? I think it was 98. Then you also had, funny enough, Christian Slater was in there too. His name was Vic in the movie, and he's running around taking pictures of everybody with a Polaroid. Okay, and so people are enjoying themselves and all that, and then weird things start happening. Okay, there's this symbolism about which one of the caretakers of the grounds that Frida runs into said she looks at her and always says red rabbit, and whatever that means, right? And she didn't understand what that meant. But as the movie progresses, we start seeing things that they start realizing that they're not remembering things they did on this island, right? Like they're wondering, a couple of them are starting to wonder, what's happening to me? Like I'm there's blanks in their memory banks as to what's going on. And then as the movie continues, her and this other girl, I forgot her name in I think her name was Sarah, who initially was you know a like you at first she came across as like this obnoxious, snotty little, pretty girl or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. But then later, even she starts realizing something's up, and they start trying to unravel the mystery of what's really going on this island, what Slater and these men are up to. And what this movie seems to home in on the most, psychologically speaking, is the way women are treated by men on a subconscious level. Think of it subconsciously, but in a more warped, upgraded way. All right, which involves certain chemicals. I'm not going to give it all away. Certain chemicals that will wipe out their memory, and certain chemicals that will restore their memory. Okay, and how those things happen, well, watch the movie and you see it for yourself. I don't want to give anything away because this is the kind of movie that you don't want to give away too much in a review like this because You got to see it to experience it. You got to see it to understand the depth of how low people can go, particularly men in this particular scenario, in regards to taking advantage of women in an isolated condition, in an isolated environment such as this island. Sure, have the caviar. Sure, play in the pool and enjoy that, and enjoy sunbathing, enjoy your parties and dancing at night, and those lush dinners or whatever, enjoy that. But there's more to it. There's something sinister behind all of that, that Frida, Sarah, and a couple of the other ladies that are also in this start to realize soon enough that they know they got to do something about it. They got to undo the damage. And there is damage. Okay. There's even a warning in the beginning of the movie where it talks about certain scenes of violence that might be too sensitive for some viewers. And I, for one, when I saw that, kind of was a little worried myself, because I'm not that good with scenes involving certain types of torture and violence, even in horror movies, because there's certain things I feel you just don't go there with. And this movie went there to a certain degree. Another famous person that was in here that I was surprised, I haven't seen her in a long time, was Gina Davis. Gina Davis is in there, and she's kind of like helping Slater out with, arrangements for everything, dinners and all that. And then you see her running around with these gift bags that are red. What are these gift bags that are red about, right? Don't know. Okay. And Frida finds that interesting. So she tries to, she starts sneaking around to try to unravel what's going on here, really. Aside from her best friend who went with her on this island, who was with her in the very beginning of the movie, disappearing on her. What the heck, she was actually the first girl that realized that there was something strange going on. And I won't tell you how she started realizing it. Again, watch the movie. It was good. It was a very well-written plot. You stayed with the characters long enough to like them and to hate them, depending on who the character was. Okay? Some of them who turned out to be crappy turned out to be rather cool at the end. Some of them who were kind of cool in the beginning turned out to be really crappy at the end. So, you see all these other things in there. There's another character named Lucas who is I almost look at him as kind of like an innocent bystander of the whole thing, but he's kind of warped into this too. Here's the funny part. All of that I'm telling you about, the women are not the only ones that are the victims. Let me just leave it to you at that. To a certain degree, the men are too. How? Watch the movie. It's really good. I'm going to give Blink Twice 3 coffee cups. It was a really good movie. It was fun to watch. I would watch it again on streaming. I wouldn't necessarily buy it on 4K or anything, but I would watch it again on a streaming service or something like that with a group of people. And you got to see this. This is crazy stuff that happens in this movie. I did appreciate the visuals. There was a lot of camera work in here that really gave it a lot of cool oomph to it. I don't know how to describe it. It added a visual aesthetic that aided in the plot of the film. I guess that's the best way I can tell you. But here it is. Blink Twice. Let me know what you think when you go see it. Watch it, come back here and talk to me, comment below, and share with me your thoughts on Blink Twice, one of the coolest psychological thrillers to come out this year in 2024. We're almost done, guys. We're already into September, and we're ready to do this. Going into the fall, into the end of the year, with all these other horror movies that are coming out, which you will see reviews of and discussions and live streams about here on Horror and Coffee. Consider subscribing. Tap on the bell for future notifications for future Horror and Coffee content. Until next time, Ralph Perez, getting ready to drink his coffee in the morning to go back to work. Take care.